Hello guys, this is Sebastian aka PokerVIP for PokerVIP, recording the third part of my 4-part video series on TonyBet. Right in the action, just win here, I guess. Didn't even see what happened, I guess someone open folded. Just gonna check the bad flush draw here. So, as in the last two parts, there's like I'm playing at night times, it's like around 1 AM. There's not a ton running, so I had to play 110 on the table, but that's totally okay with me. I could have played 125 on the table heads up, but I wasn't sure whether you would be so interested in heads up, because I would say that most of you guys are probably more interested in like 6 max. So I decided to rather play the 10 NL 6 max instead of the 25 NL heads up. Sadly no 50 NL running, else I would have thrown in a 50 NL table. But yeah, oh, you overbet? That's like literally not making any sense. I have no idea what you're doing, mate, but you're a fish. I has a flush draw. No, I have a flush draw. I have a pair. I'm gonna peel. Try to spike the river, I guess. I mean, I could have the best hand, of course. He checks big flop, calls the 3-bet. It's not making any sense. I guess pocket force or what? And we miss. Which is kind of the topic of today's session. I mean, we could still have the best hand. I mean, there's a reasonable chance there's like 5-6, 6-7, I guess, maybe. We're just gonna check. Nice. Let's check his hand. I'm really curious what he had there. He did have the 9 of hearts, 7 of hearts, so basically had literally a nothing board. That's... yeah, that's not a good bet by him, of course. I guess he's trying to abuse a super cap range. Well, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. So we're basically like, I did make a small break, and back at this, basically in like a similar setting than like the last session I was recording. I'm gonna squeeze here again. Pretty strong hand, obviously trying to get some action. I just squeezed ace-5 of clubs here. So there's definitely a good chance we're gonna get some action. And this guy calls our squeeze again, which he did last time. I'll just assume he's not folding a lot. This is the texture he hits a ton. I actually think check raising is quite good here. I think he's gonna bet his 10s and jacks and his 9x every time. I do think we're gonna get random spares out of like ace-jack here a lot. Because I do think, yeah. I actually think check raising makes a ton of sense. That way we get all the money in. Okay, now we're just gonna bet bets. We're gonna bet around $7. Then there will be around 24 in, and we're gonna have around 18 left. Yeah, that seems like good SPR, good setup for the river. If you get jammed on now, it's like we're literally not making any sense besides like pocket 3s. I don't know. Probably wouldn't have it in me to fold. I think check raising is a pretty sweet option because I can't get all the money in on the flop if I bet. Besides if he raises, and if he raises I'm like kinda scared. I do think he's gonna step a lot versus our missed c-bet there. Oh, that's obviously good. What else? Yeah, I do think if he like c-bets 10s or jacks or like a 9x, he's never gonna bet fold him. He's always gonna bet call him. If he c-bets a flush draw, he's never gonna bet fold him. He's always gonna bet call him. So there's no sense we're just gonna get it in guaranteed. And if he just has hand like ace queen, ace jack, he's just gonna step and then just gonna fold him and just gonna pick up the pot and deny some equity. This hand is really close. With the fish in there, it's probably good enough to call. This is like really sketchy. But for min with the fish in there, I'm gonna opt to jump in. It's I'm not thrilled to play that hand. By the way, if you have like any questions about the site, either ask in the comments or watch the first part if you haven't, but I'm assuming most guys that had part 3 have probably watched the first part anyways. So yeah, because in the first part I'm going more in depth into like rakeback and like basically information about the site. Today the main topic will be bet sizings post flop. I'm gonna explore why you should bet certain sizings and why you shouldn't. Also, I guess pre-flop potentially. Basically, sizing is the topic of today's video and potentially of the last part as well. Because it's just like last part, I was talking a lot about sizings post-flop, so I figured Let's put some focus on it. This would be a pretty loose isolate. Let's go for it. Don't think those guys will get too fancy out of behind us. Just gonna see what half pot, trying to take it down with certain parts of range. I think his decent parts of range are probably lead. Yep. Lead jam, I mean sizing wise that's not a good sizing. That's not a good play. Yeah. Quite obvious, like we're gonna call down with good queen X's, we're gonna call down with our really strong flush draws like ace king of clubs, and yeah. Aces, kings, ace queen, king queen are gonna be in our calling range there. And like 10 high is not. Interesting texture. He in the small blind could have some ace X's, even though I don't think he has a ton of ace X's. I'm actually gonna... I think this guy has a lot of rubbish hands. I think this guy has a lot of pocket pairs. I actually think we can exploitively see with this. So we do have some barrel turns, like we do pick up equity on certain turns. I do think this guy has like pocket sixes a lot. And this guy obviously could have an ace, but he also has a lot of other rubbish hands. Right here, closing action with the fish in there. With both guys being fishes, I'm gonna get into the mix. Just gonna check back my 8 now. I could certainly have the best hand. He could have ended like a 7. He could also just lead here and just have an ace. Easy. We're gonna call one street here. Probably gonna fold turn. He bet into 2 people. He's not afraid to stack ever. It's just shorty. If he bets here again, we're pretty fucked. If he checks back, I'm feeling quite okay about my hand. Easy fold. I can just snap fold it here. I have like no bad feelings about folding the overpair at all. If he did barrel a flush draw, he has like a million outs. And it's still gonna be hard to win on the river anyways, being out of position. So yeah. Let's see some hands. C-bet sizing here is okay on this texture. Okay, I mean the fish play is obviously not okay. He just folds. He probably just had an ace high. It's okay. He should never fold a pocket pair here. 10-8 wins versus 5. Don't really know what happened there. Not sure if you could hear that TeamSpeak sound, but I'm just gonna mute it. So it doesn't distract us. Fucking hair getting out of line. Oh, aces. First time aces to the... shouldn't have gotten... Yeah, should never get excited there. Damn. Just saying. First time aces, yay! Insta walk. Oh. Well. Let's get some money back, bitches. Excuse my vulgar language. Good texture. Interesting flop here versus 2 fishes. I actually will lead this 4th pot for protection and value reasons. Right here I can 1/3 okay and half pot. I'm just gonna see what I fold. Interesting turn. Easy fold versus this weird thing. Interesting turn. Going to size up a bit. Gonna polarize my range here a bit. I don't think Queen X is ever folding. I think if there's a 7 for example, he's probably always gonna fold. If I have my draws, I'm gonna happy that he folds the 7x. And I just want to extract as much value as possible with a pretty goddamn good hand. I guess you might have noticed I'm not trying to be balanced with my sizings and with like a lot of my moves. But it just happens that in a lot of the cases you will just inherently be a bit balanced because, I don't know, I would size relatively big with my bluffs there because I don't want his middling pairs to peel. I do want to apply maximum pressure on that part of range. But with my good hands, like his Queen X are never going to fold, they are super inelastic. So I do want to extract maximum value out of those, and I don't expect the middle pairs. Yeah. Oh, we got 3-bet, nice. Gonna get in a 4-bet. 70, I have no idea. I haven't played 10 and in ages, so I have no idea what sizing to pick here. 71, 40, I guess something like this. Probably good. I'm really not sure. 70, 140. Yeah, something like this should be fine. Obviously stacking off there. I think this hand is strong enough to isolate versus the fish, the limper, even though It's marginal. I probably wouldn't isolate a ton of hands here. The ace-jack is kind of close-ish. I want to fold it. I want to see bet this. I do think there's some fold equity on the section for sure. I do have some equity to realize. There's some decent barrel cards like spade. Another turn I'm just gonna check it and I'm just gonna try to realize. I did realize my equity, so that's a good result. Now we're just gonna hope to split with queen jack or win versus 10-8 or jack 10. That's the plan. Honestly, as a fish, I don't expect a lot of fold equity, so I'm just gonna check it. Same here. I just don't expect fold equity, so I'm just gonna check it. I do think I have the best hand here really a lot, so I'm just gonna fire a small street, get some protection, get some value out of ace highs. And yeah, I'm just gonna call him down. On this river, I'm probably gonna raise small and hope he leads a 10 and then calls or something. He just leads this river for pot. I'm not gonna call with a shitty pair. Here I'm just gonna pot it. I think if he has a pair, he's not gonna fold because there's a boat, and fishes don't fold boats. So, and if he has nothing, he's not gonna call anyway. So I'm just gonna polarize myself there. For those reasons, and range-wise, like I just wouldn't bluff there. So just don't expect, like if I had ace high, I just have showdown value. No reason to bluff. I guess if I had like worse hand, it's like, I don't know, basically not expecting to get a fold there a lot, so I wouldn't bluff there a lot. Hence, I'm super happy to value bet, of course. Could have overlimmed this hand. Just gonna check back, take a free. Never mind. Him leading this texture honestly is not the worst thing in the world. It's like somewhat reasonable on that texture. His sizing at least is like somewhat okay. Can the 5 sit? Ooh, ton of outs. Nope. 9-5 suited, pretty close. For non-3x I would defend, for 3x I'm gonna fold, mainly due to rake. Easy isolate with the pocket 8s for value. Pretty good flop for the pocket 8s, honestly. If he leads sharps, no. 3x pot, it's getting close. He leads pot. So I don't think he really does this with queen a lot, and if he has a queen, I mean, I'm gonna just shove it in. I think my pocket 8s are good enough on this spot basically to get it in. I do think there's some 5x that can call, 6s can call, 7s can call. Some ace jack high hands can fold. Some flush draws can call, and sure, sometimes I do run into a queen. And then I still have outs. Getting a fold here is not a bad result, by the way. That's a really good result. On this texture, I'm actually going to start by checking my hand. I could 1/3 or check, both are reasonable. I don't really need a lot of protection with the queen of spades in my hand. So I'm going to just opt to not 1/3 it, and rather let him bluff with a hand like 10-9 of hearts. And he just bets off pot. We have a pretty easy call. Right here I'm going to just bet my pretty strong draw. But basically, it's like almost a value bet. Easy call for half pot, of course. Hoping for the queen or the ace of spades. That's a good turn. I mean, he could have the ace of spades, of course, but generally it's a good turn. That's also a pretty good turn. Gonna bet around 3, 4, 5. Here I'm gonna check. Here I'm gonna just check, and here I'm gonna just bet 3, 4, 5. Do think there are a lot of hands that can call. He could also jam on us. Here I could peel one, but without a spade I'm not going to. Let's focus on those two hands. If he bets the turn, it's getting annoying. Depends on his sizing. He just bets off pot. I can't really fold to half pots. There's a good chance I'm like drawing dead here. But there's also a chance he overvalues like a jack of spades or something, or just keeps on bluffing. I'm just gonna call once more and then I'm gonna fold river. Yeah, I have the intention to call turn and then fold river. Hopefully the turn river's the ace of spades, I guess. So we're gonna just check. We could easily win here, but nice. Let's see what he had. Kind of interesting hand, I guess. He had the good old queen of hearts, queen of diamonds. So he had the other combination of queens without a spade and randomly barrels the turn 4x. No reason at all. Terrible turn bet by him. That's really all you can. Sorry, but that's really all you can do. Am I gonna peel versus the squeeze here? It's kind of close. I will. We are a bit deeper. It doesn't make it insanely big. Terrible flop. He should bet around $4 here. That's a fine c-bet sizing. Just gonna fold, of course. No reason to call. Once again, without a diamond, I'm just gonna check fold here. Yeah, I have a backdoor straight and 2 overcards, but I don't know. That's not worth that much. Sadly, we didn't get further action with the nut flush here. But gladly we won that pot. I'm really happy to take that one down. His turn bet once again makes no sense. I mean, he's targeting like a top pair type of hand, which checked the flop, which is like extremely unlikely. Then he's also blocking those type of hands. He does have some showdown value, I suppose, and like, population is never gonna fold a spade down. Yeah, just a useless turn bet. And that's like a pretty big common theme in this side. Useless bets, bad bet sizings. That's like something I've definitely like witnessed a lot at this side here. Basically mergey type of random bets. Just gonna check out my side here. I do have showdown value and I don't think a lot of pairs are folding to my lead. So yeah. Just gonna take my showdown. Him not folding is kind of interesting. Really are gonna raise, we're gonna wrap a 5, he's wrapping a 5. He's really the only hand he's wrapping is ace 5. Or like 5-6. Kind of weird. Once again, in those spots like where they just wrap such a narrow thing, I think they usually just happen to have it. So also not really expecting this fish to fold, so yeah. As fucked up as it sounds, I think he had the 5 there. Ace 5 gonna be an easy open. What's happening here? So you see bets are sizing, half pot on this texture. On this texture, I generally would want to see a larger bet than half pot. That's okay. Snap checks it back on a 10. Kinda seems like he has a hand like 8s, 7s, or like a 8-9 type of hand. Bets over with, I guess, 8s or a 9. 3 deuce. King high. Doesn't believe it. Okay. So we're gonna make a little note here. Never bluff this guy. Thank you. Just gonna check out my side here. I do turn a double, or like an open-ender, double gutter, whatever. So we're definitely gonna call turn bet. We have the best hand, decent bit of the time. Plus, we have a lot of ways to improve, and that's not one of them. So that's gonna be a check back. If he happens to check, and if he happens to bet, I think on this texture we can just fold our ace side. We could win, you know. Beat it. King 6, pretty good result overall. Not too salty about that one. I'm sorry, I just have to somehow get a bit of the hair out of my face. Fuck out of my face! I'm gonna open the queen 8 off. Marginal hand. Let's get in the mix. Get punished, that's okay. Pretty easy fold. By the way, if someone wonders, I did mute the sounds on TonyBet because I just couldn't regulate them. Like, I just couldn't really regulate them. They were like always super loud for me, so I had to mute them. Was getting pretty obnoxious and annoying. What, he cold calls his 3-bet and then that's this. Generally, we're not a big fan of cold calling 3-bets, but there are certain situations where it's justifiable, basically. In some spots, it's justifiable. Jack 9 gets in with his King Jack. How the fuck did this happen? No, I do want to see others. What the fuck? Did they get it in pre or what? Bets, raises, calls. Bets, raises, calls. Wait, what? What the fuck was that hand? The one guy completely going insane with... What? I am stunned. So it's a mini raise pre. Roland's calls. Okay. Roggen c-bets flop. Roland's raises with nothing. nothing. Rogan peels with nothing. He just calls off the turn with king high? What? No, Rogan's leads the turn for min? No, Rogan leads the turn for min. Rogan's jams it with literally nothing. And Rogan just... Wait, what the fuck was that hand? Okay. Insane? Can I just please take a note? Oh, forward. Oh, okay. Win. Insane. So those guys are insane. What the fuck? I'm just gonna call here because I do want to play a pot. I don't want to just get them out of the pot. I just want to play a multi-way pot with those guys. Because that seems like a pretty profitable spot to get into. What the fuck was that hand? I mean, I've seen a lot of random hands, but that kind of blows my mind. Just gonna check back the bottom pair. Showdown, have some showdown value. Try to turn trips. Or two pair. His c-bet sizing, honestly, in such a multi-way spot is like somewhat reasonable. But I mean, all of those three guys can chop with the most random hands. Let's see, this is gonna be interesting. I wanna raise this turn. Yeah. I rep a deuce. I have a deuce. What can you do, mate? What's this? Okay. Raisey daisy. Snap folds, that's okay. I still want to value ace there. I don't think a jack is gonna believe me, to be quite honest with you. And there are some draws that can definitely pay me. So the king. So I'm hoping Rogan wins because this guy is an insane station, I guess. Something. Queen 6, yeah, Rogan has the pure nuts. That's like cool. I mean, you just seem like do some extremely spewy, awful play, and then he just happens to have the nuts because even suboptimal players can get the nuts. So, GG to him. Here I'm just gonna check back, realize my equity. I don't think there's a texture I really want to step with this hand. Good turn. Easily can call a lead. Even a bigger lead. I can call. Go. I break the river, that's okay. I could still have the best hands. Him leading again is kind of interesting. I'm tempted to hero call him. But this is not really that good card to hero call because 9-8 and 9-10 won't bluff now. What is really wrapping? It's really not wrapping a whole lot. Kinda interesting. I guess he could still bet a jack. Even though for that sizing I wouldn't really like it. Is it possible? Probably gonna see a jack there quite often. I'm tempted to hero call there. Pretty loose open from E2G with the ace-10. Just gonna check this texture in the multi-way setup. Let's see if maybe a 25 and table is running. Nope. That's okay. Gonna open this, gonna fold this. Just gonna check back my middle pair. There's some reason to be made to bet. Honestly, versus the fish, I'm gonna raise the turn. If he happens to lead. Else I'm just gonna bet relatively big. I do think if he has a pair, he's never gonna fold, so. Flop a weak gut shot and a bottom pair. Turn makes things worse. I would be happy to see a river. I'm not gonna pay for it though. Easy defend for min, of course. Pretty trivial check fold on this flop with this hand. His c-bet sizing is okay on the 5-5-6 board. Could up to 1/3. Half potting is also fine. This guy's sitting here with like not a lot of big blinds. Excuse me. Trying to find a hand to get it in with him. Guy is straight. Straight is good. Not a lot happening. Let's observe some hands, I guess. Check. Calls. Okay, interesting turn. Would expect it to go check call a lot. Lead. And calls it off. And has ace 10 versus jack 10 and the strike. Pretty dead. That's sad. Let's see if he can rebuy. He doesn't. That's not a good result for the table. Pocket 7's pretty easy open. Gonna peel a 3-bet. Right here, multi-way pot brewing. Yep, gonna peel a 3-bet. We happen to flop top board. Let's hope he has an overpair, because then we're gonna get the money. If he checks back, that's a terrible result. He bets off pot, that's okay. Sadly doesn't mean that he has a lot. Doesn't have to have a lot. Could still have just overcards. Gonna hope he hits those or bluffs with them. This is turn I would expect his overcards to shut down a bit, decent bit, and his overpairs to still bet. I'm probably still gonna just check call. Let him hang himself. That's just outrageous. He just doesn't have it. I just don't think he's gonna bluff as played. So what I will do is just lead for around half pot and hope he happens to have like 8s or 9s that just call me, or happens to interpret this as like weak and raises. I don't know, I'm just gonna lead. He probably folds a ton here. Same to me, he's a fish, he can call us with ace king high. Yeah, I just don't think he's gonna bluff there after he snap checks back turn basically. I think he's in shutdown mode, take showdown mode, so yeah, just gonna lead for the rare times he has a pair which would check back sometimes. Yeah. Check raising is also okay, but I'm not a huge fan of it, to be quite honest. Up to king 5. On a stop I'm gonna just see bet around how 1/3. Happy to take. Okay, on 10-6 you don't want to have a check raising range. Versus 1/3 you actually can, but him snap raising doesn't, probably means he didn't look at the sizing before raising. I mean, it's a pretty easy fold, but yeah. Versus 1/3 you actually want to have a check raising range here, but I doubt that he really looked at the sizing. I think he just check raised. But yeah, on the texture you generally don't want to raise a lot. 10-6 rainbow. You want to slow play or good hands. And you just get pretty good odds with any sort of gut shot or whatnot. So I wouldn't really raise a lot there. I could consider myself, I could convince myself to raise and like ace 10 there for like protection and value. But that's kinda about it. Ace 5 gonna open and peel a 3-bet. Quite happily so. I'm not really happy, but reasonably okay with it. Wrong limbs. This is the fish for a minute. Usually I would fold this due to weight, but with him being a weaker player, I'm actually going to defend. Flop relatively okay. Here we're going to go into set mode. Set mine mode, we couldn't do it. That's okay. Here I'm just going to check again. Don't need as much protection. I'm just going to check all over with my spades. He could have a higher spade. I want to take that risk. Gonna open ace. Smaller of his big blind. Gonna just fold to a 3-bet. Could consider to call to 4-bet, but nah. Not a big fan of it. Once again, marginal open with the queen 8. Get squeezed. Always punished. King Jack, relatively good hand. Gonna maybe 3-bet. Maybe call. I'm gonna 3-bet. Okay, just folds. Quite a lot going on right now on this bottom left table. Lots of action. And a lot of action on other tables. Easy fold with the jack turn off. You whatever. Most likely suited hand to continue there. King Jack, fold. Jack 9, gonna 3-bet or open. Gonna call a 3-bet this time. Yeah, gonna call a 3-bet. And that's not my flop. Check folding. King Jack on a 3-bet for value. Suddenly opens for 3x instead of min. Confusing, but whatever. Still have a pretty good hand to 3-bet. Could also just defend. Gonna 3-bet ascend as well. He might cold call me because I just 3-bet the hand before. He might also cold 4-bet me, but I think that's the least likely result. He's deep in the tank. We just don't want to see a 4-bet. That's all we really ask for. We just see a 4-bet open jam, which is pretty outrageously bad. You should never do this. Now he goes to min raising again for no reason. That's kind of like the patterns how you see like with a fish, just like random stuff like that. Actually, I'm gonna 3-bet ascend this time. Some of the feeling he's gonna give me credit. Yeah. Overall, it seems to me that my 3-bets decently often work. At the side, aces. Come on, let's get some dice. Probably gonna call. He has shown me that he can 3-bet hands like deuce 3 offsuited, so I'm gonna just peel this. It's pretty marginal, but I think with the dynamic I have with him, I think it's fine. This texture, I actually got a size of texture quite big. Pretty dynamic texture. Here I'm just gonna check, realize my equity. He calls, turn is pretty good. And he could have queen jack, then we have ours. I'm just gonna bet around half pots. I do want to lure in some weaker hands. That's a weird term, but I'm actually gonna fold my weak flush draw. I don't know, does he have quads? Whatever, doesn't really make sense to bet that sizing. 622, then we can shove river. Yeah, that seems fine. So betting around half pot here. Trying to get caught by hand like king queen. He calls, river is outrageously bad, this round is obnoxious. We are forced to check fold now. Super unlucky run out. We could still have the best hand. He doesn't automatically have a queen. And if he has hand like king jack, he's just gonna check down. So yeah, we're gonna check and just hope to win. I mean, we have still a pretty good hand. We beat anything but a queen. Can you please just check? Please. For the love of God, don't have the queen. Please. You just hate to see that 4 straight on the river. Yeah, that's frustrating. I have to admit, that's kinda. So now he writes thanks. Let's ask him. Cool. Claims to have had the flush draw. Let's see. Were there even a lot of flush draws possible? I mean, nope. If he had the 9-8 of flush, 9-8 of diamonds, then nice hand. I'm still gonna fold my aces there every time. I'm happy to fold the aces. This guy's tagged as a station, so we're just gonna size up versus him and just gonna go for 3 streets. Happily so. That's once again a 4 straight river. Please don't lead. 4 straight river, 3 flush river. Actually, he has been 3-betting so much that I'm considering to do something with the ace 10, but I'm just not gonna do. I'm just gonna check down here. Queen 8, yep, pretty stationary. So yeah, we're at 35 minutes. Gonna call it a session now. If you have any questions, any advices, anything you want to tell me, write it in the comments. If you're interested in private coaching, write it in the comments or contact me via like PokerVIP personal messages. This was part 3. This was Sebastian Aka Scrub X for PokerVIP. Hope you're back for part 4. Let's wrap things up here. Bye bye!